But we're only going to discuss one win out of the last two because, yes, Liverpool earned the victory against Everton thanks to Diogo Jota's winner, and that was quite a good feeling then. But then they followed that up with a 3-2 loss against Fulham on Sunday. And I don't know about you, David, but was that maybe the most comedic defensive performance of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt many Liverpool fans found it that funny at the time, and certainly judging by my social media mentions, they definitely didn't find the funny in it. But it was, very, very poor and very out of character, really. I mean, I saw a statistic, I think, in the first half alone, they gave up 4 up-to-defined shots from errors, directly from errors, which they've been averaging less than 1 per game, 1 error leading to a shot per game over the entirety of this season, and yet gave up 4 in the first half. So I think that kind of shows you how uncharacteristic it was. And, you know, if you do those sorts of things, and you can have days like this in the Premier League, and it's been remarkable, really, that Liverpool have gone so long without having one of those days, then the likelihood is that you're going to get severely punished, you know, given the quality of the league. And I think that's what we saw. I thought we saw a combination of really poor errors from Liverpool, but also some very good finishing from Fulham. And that is the level of the league. If you are even slightly off it on any day, then you will get fully punished. And, you know, like I say, Liverpool have managed to avoid that for 26 games. It's incredible, all the way back to September. But they weren't able to this time around. And, you know, thankfully not too many consequences from that because of the position they're in, but a very disappointing first half performance, and that is, you know, they gave themselves too much to do in that second half, and that's why they lost the game. But as I say, thankfully that's been kind of uncharacteristic this season.
Yeah, it definitely should be remembered that it's only the second Premier League loss of the season and the first away loss, so not really damaging because Liverpool so far ahead in the title race. But I want to then talk about one specific player, and I don't want to sound like I'm picking on him, but what we saw against Everton and what we saw against Fulham were the two sides of Andy Robertson, I'd say, because I thought he was quietly very good against Everton, but then against Fulham, it's the decision-making that lets him down. And I know we've talked about this before, but that can't continue, can it?
No, it's kind of strange with Robertson in that, you know, I think earlier in the season, what we were seeing in terms of his decline was more kind of being a second late to challenges, which is what you see a lot for players who are just getting a little bit older and maybe not quite got that speed in the legs. But I think kind of towards the latter half of the season is when he's had bad moments, is that it's been kind of crazy decisions. And, you know, he was so reliable in that regard previously that it's kind of surprising to see it, really. He's been making some poor decisions. And I mean, never more so than in that moment against Fulham where he, you know, 3 different moments he has to kind of get the ball away or make a better decision, and he just doesn't, and it ends in a goal. I mean, he is unfortunate with the deflection, you have to say that, but, you know, it kind of compounds all his previous errors, really. So, I just think it's obvious, isn't it, that, you know, there's a reason why Liverpool are going to sign a left back this summer. You know, it's a clear part of the team that you could upgrade coming into this summer, because Andy Robertson just isn't the player he used to be. But I do think we saw against Everton, and we have seen several times this season, as much as, you know, he's been a bit of a conduit for criticism, really. But I actually think he is. You know, I think he's still shown this season. I mean, look where Liverpool are in the league, that he's good enough for Liverpool still. I think, you know, he probably maybe isn't good enough to still be the out-and-out starter next season. You want to see that place challenge with the signing, which is absolutely what we expect. But if he becomes your backup option next season, then I don't think that's a bad position for Liverpool to be in at all. Because, like you say, I think against Everton he showed how good he is, and then against Fulham he showed that, okay, maybe I'm not quite still the player I was, but he's. You know, if you have to rely on him for 20 to 25 games this season, I'm sure there's very, very few games where he'd let you down as a backup option. He's a top pro and a great person to have around the squad as well.